get ready, because something unusual is going to happen in your life. So most people start to put all of their attention on their body, and they start believing that they're their body. And if you're living by the hormones of stress and you're trying to predict the future based on the past, then you would have to agree with me then, when you're in the present moment, you can't be in stress. Because there is no future and there is no past. There's only the present moment. So then meditation is about that. And what we've measured over and over again when we've done this is I now know without a doubt that you are at your absolute best when you get beyond yourself. Period. And I can tell you right now, you can't tell me you're too old. You can't tell me you're too out of shape. You can't tell me about your past. You can't tell me about your disease. I have seen transformation and shifts in people's bodies independent of how old they are, how out of shape, how in shape, their wealth, their social status. I've seen it happen on all cultures, all ages, all kinds of people. So then, if you start taking your attention off your body, then would you agree that you would become nobody? And if you took your attention off all the people in your life that you have to take care of and make sure everything's in place, and all those people have created your identity, that the moment you take your attention off all those people in your life, you become no one. And if you're not thinking about the things you own and all the objects, your computer, your cell phone, then all of a sudden you're in nothing. And if you take your attention off the place you have to go or the place you're sitting and you get so lost in your inner world that there's no longer an outer world, then you're in nowhere. And if you are not thinking about the predictable future or the familiar past and you are in the generous present moment, then you are in no time. And that means then you're no longer your face. You're no longer your pain. You're no longer your job. You're no longer your gender. You're no longer your diet. You're no longer your profession. You're no longer a mother. You're no longer a father. You're no longer a kid. You're no longer your culture, your skin color. You're no longer your name. You are nobody. No one, no thing, nowhere, and no time. And in that moment, you are walking into the door to the quantum field. You are passing through the eye of the needle. And now here's what happens when this occurs. And we've measured this enough times. When you're thinking about all those people and things and problems and conditions in your life and your brain is aroused because of the hormones of stress and you're in survival and you're activating all those circuits in your brain is firing very incoherently and your heart is out of rhythm and you're drawing from this field and turning it into chemistry and you're more matter and less energy, that there comes a moment where all of a sudden the person has to settle down and there's chaos going on within them. They're disconnecting from their environment, and it's the unknown. And they have to work in trusting in the unknown more than the known. And as they do this properly, and they get beyond themselves, and they're no longer thinking about those people, they're no longer thinking about their pain or their body, they're no longer putting their attention on objects or things or places in time. If they're no longer activating these circuits in the brain because they're no longer thinking about them, guess what happens? Their brain waves begin to change from beta brain waves, high beta aroused state, into alpha. And in alpha, all of a sudden, the inner world starts becoming more real than the outer world. The brain starts to imagine. And when you're out of the way and you're no longer thinking and feeling in the same way and you're changing your brain waves, as you change your brain waves, you're falling right into the autonomic nervous system. And as your brain waves slow down, all of a sudden you're connecting to that autonomic nervous system that wants to just do one thing, create order and balance in your body. Would you agree the more you surrender and get out of the way and get beyond your body and your face and your skin color and your culture and your problems and your past and your future, and you trust in that unknown, the deeper you go into it, the faster the frequency, the shorter amount of time it should take to produce effects in your life. And people who do this work always say the same thing. It came out of nowhere. And I always say to them, that's because you created it in nowhere. Something appeared out of nothing. That's because you created it from nothing. It happened in no time. I know. You created it in no time. So then, the divine in you, in closing, has always been present with you. It's an omnipresent intelligence that's loving you into life. Yes? And so there's your outer environment, and if you want to hide the divine anywhere really well in a human being, you put it within them, because they'll look everywhere else for it. Yes? So it's a presence, and it's standing here and it's waiting. And you know when someone's present in your life with you because they're paying attention to you. And you know when they're not present with you because they're not paying attention to you. So imagine this presence that's waiting for you to do your meditation, and you go like this, you're doing your meditation like that. I meditate today. And it's going like, are you kidding me? Oh my God, I don't know if I can do. That's what you're bringing to it. And then while it's standing there waiting, you're thinking, I got to take care of that person, I got to check that email, I got to do this thing. And all your attention is on your outer world, and it's going, hello, I'm over here. And then would you agree that the moment you become nobody, no one, no thing, nowhere, and no time, you're taking your attention off somebody, someone, something, someplace, sometime, and you're becoming nobody? Now you're looking at it. And you walk through that eye of the needle. Once you get through it, then there's more. And if you can unfold deeper into the unified field, and as you move closer towards it, would you agree then you'll experience greater degrees of wholeness and oneness and less separation? That means you won't have to try to create your dreams. All you have to do is become aware that they already exist and experience them. So then the closer you get to it, the shorter amount of time it should appear in your life. And what if you were to connect with it? Truly connect with it. Would you agree then you will become more willful because it has an amazing will? You become more loving. It's a loving intelligence. You become more giving. It's a giver of life. You become more forgiving. It's forgiven you millions of times. You become more conscious. It's a consciousness. Yes or no? You become more mindful. It has an infinite mind. Its nature will become your nature. Its mind will become your mind. And people then in your life will say, something's up with him. He must have changed his medication today. Because as Dawson said, your nervous system is the greatest pharmacist in the world. And that common people just like you are doing the uncommon. And if you can sustain and maintain a modified state of mind and body your entire day and keep your energy up, get ready, because something unusual is going to happen in your life. It's the law. And I know it from experience, and I've witnessed it too many times. And it will come in a way that you least expect. Why? Because if you can expect it, it's nothing new. If you can predict it, it's more the same. It's got to be a surprise. It's got to rock your world. It's got to catch you off guard, and it has to leave no doubt that what you did inside of you produced some effect outside of you. And when you can correlate the changes you made inside of you with the effect you produced outside of you, you're going to pay attention to what you did, and you're going to do it again. And that's when we go from being a victim to being a creator. Thanks for listening.